Brianna Walker's been here before, leading the first heat, and then it all went away. Well, that was in Altenburg. Can she turn that around now? Keeping it clean in the Devil's Highway. Best speed of all, Brianna Walker. Out of the chicane, she's clean. It's going to be very close at the line. Who wins the final race? It is Brianna Walker by a quarter of a second. That is how you do it.
How good. That was Bree Walker's breakthrough win in the monobob last year. It was in Lake Placid in New York. And as you can see, Bree joins us right here on Wide World of Sports. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Great to have you in. 285 days. I've had the abacus out this morning. And do you just wake up every morning and go, oh my God, I wish it was here. Just bring it on, the Winter Olympics.
No, I try not to think about it. There's a lot, there's a lot that's going to happen before there. So I just kind of take it day by day.
Now, it is so cliched, Bree, we're going to talk about the Jamaican bobsled team and what you've done and where you've come from. You're living in Cairns at the moment. You just mentioned before you grew up in Melbourne. How did you get from whatever sport you played as a kid to bobsleigh?
Yeah, look, pretty much the short answer is I just Googled whether we had an Australian bobsleigh team. But no, the long story is I was a track and field athlete. I was a 400-metre runner, 400-metre hurdler with the goal to represent Australia on the world stage and at the Olympic Games. And towards the end of my athletic career, I just kind of had the realisation that maybe I wasn't going to be able to do that. So I just Googled whether we had a bobsleigh team because obviously from the iconic movie Cool Runnings, a lot of track and field athletes do move across to bobsleigh. And yeah, I achieved all the standards for the Talent ID camp and they asked me if I wanted to go learn how to drive a bobsleigh and off I went and the rest is history.
Brilliant.
I want to see what other people have Googled. Like, do we have a shoey team? But in all honesty, watching the Winter Olympics and Paralympics, I absolutely love it. But I always think when I'm watching the athletes as they're running down the track, how do you mentally prepare yourself to launch yourself down an ice ramp at absolute breakneck speed, sometimes head first?
Yeah, no, it is. It can be quite daunting if you think too much about it, so I try not to. But I do a lot of mindset work because, you know, at the top level of your sport, what helps you to be successful is what goes on between your ears. So I read a lot of books. I work really closely with my sports psychs and my coaches and even my mentor, Lydia Lasser, Olympic champion in aerial skiing. And she just helps me to really understand what is important to focus on. So, yeah, I can go out and execute the best I possibly can to be successful.
And a lot of us will be following your journey between now and the Winter Olympics and seeing how you're going and your build-up. So can you give us a sense of, you know, what you're really focusing on now, what you've identified, you know, to get into those medals and what your next kind of almost a year looks like?
Yeah, me and my team, we really just try and keep it simple, you know, like you can make bobsleigh the most complicated sport, but at the end of the day, all you're really trying to do is push as hard as you can and drive the best you can and set up your equipment as well so you can execute everything to be able to be on those podiums. So for us, we have identified a lot of key areas that we need to focus on the next few years. So that's what we're pretty much going to do. I'm going to go away to Calgary in July to be able to go and push on the ice track that they have over there. And then once it hits October, we'll be able to get on the ice and hopefully put everything together that we've been working really hard on.
And I think what really takes athletes at your level in particular to the next level is just how creative you can be with the way that you train. You know, we saw you box jumping before. I don't know how high that was. It looked very high. But, you know, how realistic is it in a training environment like Cairns to train for a snow sport? You know, how does the dry track then translate onto the ice?
Yeah, so I always just begin my off-season in Cairns. It's a nice place for me to go and recharge and just to be with my family and kind of ground myself again. But really, for me to be able to be the best I can at my sport, I do have to head overseas. So that is why I spend a lot of time abroad. And because then, yeah, it's really just working on becoming as strong and as powerful as I can be, using the facilities that they have overseas. So then I can go to the ice track because we can only slide between October and March every year.
Excellent. Hey, thanks for dropping in, and we can't wait to see you take on the world in Italy next year, and you're to see it all here on 9. So tell all your friends,
Yes,
all your family.
Please
It's all
follow
here on 9.
along, Bobsled Brie.
There we go.
Good stuff. Thanks for dropping
you.
by.